Well, we have our first. Well, actually, there was that whole thing with yeah, that happened. But this is the next first, so I guess the second big silly season domino in the Formula One world. Fernando Alonso. There's been a lot of speculation, rumors, what have you, about what he would do in the future. Would he stay at Aston Martin? Would he potentially go replace Lewis Hamilton at Mercedes? Would he go to Red Bull? Would Red Bull sign him to a contract in that second seat? Well, today, on April 11th, 2024, we now know that answer. Fernando Alonso is staying at Aston Martin. They started out, they just posted this graphic, and it simply says, I am here to stay, or here to say, stay. And then there's a video. Fernando Alonso sits down, says his name, and says, I'm here to stay. And then they posted another press release that just said, I am here to stay, Fernando Alonso. So in case you missed it, Fernando Alonso is staying at Aston Martin. He is here to stay at Aston Martin. Did you miss that? Did you get that? Anyways, let's look at the press release. The long press release, not just the one sentence one. Otherwise, that would have been the shortest press release I've ever had to read. After months of considerable speculation around the most experienced driver in the history of Formula One, Fernando Alonso has underlined his commitment to Aston Martin Aramco by signing a new multi-year deal. Mike Crack, team principal of Aston Martin, said, securing Fernando's long-term future with Aston Martin Aramco is fantastic news. We have built a strong working relationship over the last 18 months, and we share the same determination to see this project succeed. We have been in constant dialogue over the last few months, and Fernando has been true to his word. When he decided he wanted to continue racing, he talked to us first. Fernando has shown he believes in us, and we believe in him. Fernando Alonso said, there's been much said and written about my future in Formula One in the past few months, but today I'm delighted to announce that I'm here to stay with Aston Martin Aramco in a multi-year agreement. I said at the start of the year that I would decide if I wanted to continue racing first and then sit down with the team. From the moment I joined the team in 2023, I felt extremely at home. In just over 15 months, we have already achieved so much together with some memorable podiums and battles. I'm very grateful for the trust Lawrence, Martin, and Mike have put in me, and with Lance, I am excited to see what else we can achieve together. This is only the beginning for this project, and I am proud to be a part of it. I'm at my physical best and still hungry. I will give my all as we continue our journey to becoming a world championship winning team. So yes, Fernando Alonso, remember when he joined Aston Martin, or when he announced it, everyone was clowning him. Everyone's like, oh, here we go, another bad Fernando Alonso career decision, because at the time, Aston Martin, those 2022 regulations hit, and Aston Martin stunk, to put it nicely. Meanwhile, Alpine, the team he was at, they weren't terrible. They were midfield, and it was like, why would you leave a midfield team for trash? Turns out Fernando Alonso knew what he was doing, because look at those two teams now. Aston Martin has a bunch of podiums. Alpine is the worst team on the grid. So, obviously, disregarding that, Fernando Alonso, he could have left. Obviously, there were a lot of open seats. There's going to be a lot of shuffling around with drivers this year, whether it's someone going to Audi, whether it's someone going to Red Bull, Mercedes, a lot of open seats, a lot of enticing opportunities. But Fernando Alonso believes in Aston Martin. He believes in their project. Obviously, they've had success already with, what did he have, 7 podiums last year? It could have been more, honestly, or it might have been more. I don't know what the actual number was, but Fernando Alonso, Aston Martin, they were so hot at the beginning of last year. They fell off a little bit, but still got a few podiums. This year, still off to a good start. Not as hot as last year, but consistently being in the points, consistently being in that kind of 5th to 7th, 8th place range. So Aston Martin is heading in the right direction. Fernando Alonso believes in them. It's going to be interesting to see what happens when he's back with a Honda power unit starting in 2026. But then obviously the question would be, how long is Lance Stroll going to be in that second seat? Will they try to sign someone else? But as for now, it seems like Aston Martin is locked in for 2025 in terms of their driver lineup, Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, unless Lance Stroll decides to hang up the fire suit. But as for that, that's all that's happening in the Formula One world. The thing about Fernando and Red Bull, a lot of people wanted to see that happen. Sergio Perez recently said that he would know within a month. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, whether he's renewing or not. I wouldn't be shocked if they renewed him, but obviously a lot of open seats out there, a lot of free agents out there. Carlos Sainz, obviously a free agent since he's not at Ferrari anymore. Well, he's at Ferrari right now, but he doesn't have a Ferrari contract in 2025, so he's a free agent. But you guys get my point. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you in the next one. We're going to be at some NASCAR races this weekend. Texas Motor Speedway. Should be fun.